Power does what it wants. Power does what it wants. Power does what it wants.
Alright guys, we're on the 6th floor.
Oh, okay. Alright, I got you. Hold on just a minute. Hold on. Can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I was wondering if any of the commissioners were in today or anybody that I could talk to. I know they had a vote on Monday.
Let me call you right back. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. I know they had a meeting on Monday and they had a thing on the agenda about recording in the public building. So I wanted to talk to any of them that were available.
Okay. They are not in, but have a seat and I'll get our Chief Administrative Officer,
Sure.
Mr. Peter Cover.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tell me your name.
My name is George.
George.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I will get it. I'm sorry, George. He's got a webinar that's starting in about 2 minutes, he said. Yeah,
Okay.
10:30, 4 minutes. He said if you'd like to wait, it might be an hour, or if you have a phone number,
Yeah.
you write down,
Yeah.
he will call you, or I can get our chairman to call you.
Yeah.
Whichever.
I'll write down my number. I'll be in town for a while, so if I might even be able to swing back through if he's got time.
Perfect.
But 8145.
8145. Okay, and you're with?
Activism News Network.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. Same to you.
All right, guys, so those are the commission offices. You got the county commission chambers there. You got purchasing and sanitation payments over here. You got some public information here on the walls. We'll take a look at that. Got your federal labor law posters posted up for the employees. You got, looks like some accreditation here on the wall, certificates of excellence, appreciation. So that's pretty nice. Assistant CAO, I'm not sure what that is. Sanitation account manager. Can I have one of these cookies?
Oh, you have to ask that lady right in there. Good job.
Right in there?
Hi, how are you?
Good. May I have one of those cookies out there?
Sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, ma'am. Look at these cookies, guys. These look amazing. They're little reindeer. They got the little M&M nose.
Would you get a reindeer?
Mm-hmm. They got a reindeer
That's
cookie.
so cool.
Nothing going on up here.
Downstairs they would flat trans. Make it well.
With his camera?
Yeah.
All right, guys, look at that. We got a reindeer cookie. It's got some chocolate pretzels. I'm going to put this in my pocket. I'm not going to eat it now. Hopefully it doesn't get smushed. All right, so we got property taxes, revenue and commission, mapping and appraisal, personal property. We're on the 5th floor. We got some vending machines here. Just going to take a look here in the little lobby area. It's pretty nice. Merry Christmas, folks.
You too.
Not a lot of area that you can get into.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let this young man out. Of course, sir. This is property tax. Anything on the walls here?
What you need to do, sir?
I'm just here to take a tour of the facility. I'm a journalist. I saw the news report on Monday about the commission meeting and stuff, so wanted to come in and take a gander at the building here before the Nazis shut it down. So, thank you. Got a picture here. Maybe it's an old picture here from Dothan. It is 1909.
Yes.
It is the Tax Equalization Board of Houston County in 1909. So it's pretty nice. They're all wearing suspenders. So you got the Wyatt Earp mustache on a couple of them. This guy almost looks like a doll. His face looks kind of unreal. So that's pretty cool. I think that's the only one they have in here. Hello, ladies. Merry Christmas to you, ladies. Merry Christmas to you, ladies. Not a lot of holiday cheer in that department. We got a nice Christmas tree here in the 5th floor lobby next to the vending machines. I wonder if they got Christmas trees on every floor.
Hello.
Are you guys going down?
Going down.
Oh, I'm going down to 4.
You're going to 4?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Can I ask you what you're doing?
We're recording, ma'am.
What you recording for?
Well, we're independent journalists, so we wanted to come in. We heard about the commission meeting on Monday, so we wanted to come in before they closed the building down to Americans. No, I'm fine, ma'am. I'm just taking a little tour of the facility. Thank you. Got a nice Christmas tree here. All right, got some public information here. Excuse me?
Can't go back that way.
Go back what way?
That's down that hall there. There's offices back there.
Yeah, I'm not going to go in any offices unless they have a public lobby.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if you can take pictures in here.
Yeah, actually, the commission just had a meeting on it on Monday. They failed to pass the resolution, so so it's legal.
Okay.
Thank you, though. And this is all public information on these boards, right? I guess with all this public information, I guess you're either supposed to bring a notepad to write it all down so you can remember it, or or because they're saying that they don't want you to have a camera.
Yes, sir.
So, I guess you're just supposed to memorize it or something? I don't know.
Can I help you?
No, sir, I didn't need any help. Thank you, though.
Okay.
People and their behaviors are what deliver results to your organization. Not systems, not processes, not computers, not machines. Huh. Interesting. People and their behaviors. Huh. Can I help you with something?
Well, I'm just checking to see, what business you have here.
None that I'd like to share with you. Do you have any work to do? Do they pay you to have work here, or just to stand here in the hallway?
Well, I'm here to see if normally people come here if they need to see somebody and have business, so.
I do have business. I'm a journalist. So my business is keeping an eye on my public buildings and my public servants to make sure that they're doing what they should be doing, which is working.
Well, part of my work is just checking to make sure, my employees are protected as well, so.
Yeah, they have security here. I've already cleared it with them. Thank you. You can go back to work. Head Start and Early Head Start. Those look like offices and they're pretty cluttered. No one's in there, so you can provide us no information. Merry Christmas to you, ma'am. You have a blessed day. Got cameras up here in the elevator. I mean, why would you need a camera in the elevator? It doesn't make any sense. You got cameras all around the building, but you want to spend money on camera in an elevator. What exactly is going to go on an elevator that needs to be video recorded? Okay, so commission chambers, they're locked up, I believe. Maybe not. Oh, now they're open. This is the commission chambers from the meeting that will be on my Dothan, Alabama video. You'll see those chambers in action as they did vote on Monday to pass a policy for no audio and video recording in county buildings, which this is. So now they tabled the vote until next month, but I mean, it's unconstitutional to imagine that the only time that we're able to watch our public employees is when they allow us to. I mean, what if the mafia only allowed the police to watch them when they wanted to? Now, as you can see, this gentleman here is hard at work. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why they don't want us to come in here with cameras. Because when we come in here with cameras and they don't see us, then when we see them doing stuff like that gentleman was doing, playing solitaire on the taxpayer's dime instead of actually doing some work, then that makes them look bad. So they don't want that. They want to be able to control the narrative. So let's say I was to come in here without a camera, and I was to walk into that office, and I was to say, "Sir, you're playing solitaire. Shouldn't you be working?" Well, I mean, then they could say whatever they want, and we have no proof of that. So when we go out and say, "Oh, you know, these guys don't work," go around the corner, be really quiet, walk up to the glass door. You'll see the gentleman's computer screen. He's playing solitaire on the public dime. Be quiet. All the way to the end, and then look to the right. You'll see his screen playing solitaire.
So the gentleman was doing what?
The gentleman was playing solitaire, and that's part of the reason why they don't want citizens coming in with cameras. Because what happens is, in a lot of places I've been to, we'll find the employees, you know, what we would call slacking off. They will be playing solitaire. They'll be playing on their Facebook. I've seen them watching videos and movies, and all while they're on the taxpayers' dollars when they should actually be working, and they're not. What they're actually doing is, you know, emailing their friends or doing whatever have you not. So a lot of the waste in government, a lot of the bureaucracy is the simple fact that they're not on a time frame. They're not on piecemeal, you know, like a roofer. They don't get paid per job. So basically, the red tape we encounter is those people moving as slow as they can because there's no incentive for them to move fast. You know, they're going to get your tax dollars regardless of how they serve you, and they're going to you get your tax dollars no matter how fast they serve you, you know. And the lower guys, it doesn't matter to them because the upper guys are doing the same thing, and they're not going to get the lower guys in trouble because everybody's got something on everybody, you know. This guy knows that this guy sits on Facebook all day. This guy knows that this guy's over here in the copier room kissing on the secretary that's not his wife. So it's, you know, it's just a Grey's Anatomy, but in reality type deal. Yeah. So it's just something that this is specifically why they don't want us in here with cameras.
So what motivates you?
What motivates me is the fact that everybody needs to be held accountable to the law. And, you know, we're a great nation and we're based on a great concept. But that concept falls apart when we have a group of people that don't have to obey the law, who make the laws, and then force the citizens to obey the law and punish us if we don't. Now, these same people, you know, and you see it in the news all the time. You see, you know, there's a perfect example. Citizens sometimes leave their kids in the car on a hot day and the kids die. And the citizens get charged for that, rightly so. But I've seen cases where officers have left their babies in the car. Oh, it was an accident, you know, and these people are still out roaming the streets. So that creates that disconnect between the citizens and our governing body because it's noticeable, and it's more noticeable now than it was 50 years ago because now technology's everywhere. People can see real time what the public officials are doing, and it frightens them.
Well, you know what they're trying to do here.
Absolutely, yeah. No, we watched the commission meeting on the drive up.
And your thoughts on it?
Well, my thoughts on it again is it's unconstitutional. The constitutional importance of the free press is the right to watch over our public officials and bring their actions to the public so that the public can make educated decisions on who is ruling them and how they are ruling them. And to illustrate that point, in 1774, the Continental Congress wrote a letter to the inhabitants of Quebec. And in that letter, they discussed the importance of the free press. And I quote that it is the duty of the American citizen to use the free press to shame, they use that word specifically, shame our public officials into doing what is noble. because even back then, the founders knew that men in power won't be noble unless someone holds them to account. Okay? There's a lot of corruption back then in the colonies as well. Another great illustration of the right to free press bearing in mind our public officials is Thomas Cooley's General Principles of Constitutional Law, pages 300 and 301. And there he specifically states that, again, the right to free press is the right to bring the actions of our public officials to the bar of public opinion so that we may make educated decisions about who's, taking our money and using it for what. And as we can see, people are taking our money and playing solitaire on it.
You know your job is not for everybody.
Yes, sir. It is not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody. First, you have to have confidence. You have to have the confidence in the law. You have to have confidence in what you're doing.
How many times have you been arrested?
I've been arrested 4 times. 2 last year in Florida, 1 in Pritchard, Alabama 2 months ago, and 1 in Paulding County, Georgia 2 weeks ago. So,
You ever been convicted?
No, they usually dismiss the charges because, I'm confident in what I do and I'm confident in where I am as the law applies to me.
I mean, I would say this. There's a pretty good chance that you guys know the law. When I say you guys and girls, probably know the law better than the average public servant knows. Probably more than I know the law.
Yeah. I as a hobby of mine for 10 years, I collected old law and history books. So I'd like to find out where we are today, and the only way we could find out where we are today is to trace that back. So trace the laws back, trace the history of the country back, see what the original intent was, and then bring that forward and find out where we are today in society. So, the law is a very, very interesting subject, and there's a lot of stuff in there that needs to be learned.
You were in Dothan, Alabama 2-3 weeks ago.
It was June. It was June that we were in here.
So it wasn't you at the hospital?
No. That was another member, not a member of our organization because we're not really organized except for a couple of us. But he was a member of the First Amendment auditing community. His name was Honor Your Oath is his YouTube channel name, and he's a master. He's who I model myself after, and his investigations, bar none, are probably the best I've ever seen on public officials.
There's a lot more, and I know technology, YouTube, all has increased the visibility of what you guys do. There's a lot more information out there, a lot more of these type instances available for public viewing. That's got to be, I'm assuming, that's got to be rewarding for people who do what you do because now you're getting attention, right or wrong.
Right. No, we're getting a lot more emails of people that want to join in and pick up a camera because they've had instances in their life. Anybody can go to Google and Google any municipality you want and check out their ratings and check out their reviews. And it's horror stories all across the country of people that went into their public buildings without a camera. Okay, so people now are picking up the camera so they can document this abuse that they're receiving at the hands of their public servants and showing it to the public so that way we can, because otherwise we don't know. I mean, who has time to come, and hang out? Yeah.
He said Google it.
Yeah.
On my phone.
So who has time to sit here and at the public building and watch their citizens, their servants all day? Nobody. So we take the time, we have time, extra time, we go out and we do it. And again, people enjoy it. It's skyrocketing the amount of people that are watching, the people that want to be involved. And I'm getting emails and calls every day from public servants that want to expose what's happening within their departments, within their agencies. And for so long, they didn't have no outlet because their bosses didn't want to hear about it. Their bosses might even be part of it. And if they tell anybody, they might lose their job.
Would you be willing, and this is not going to happen, I would presume, but would you be willing to, whether here or somewhere else, before new laws are enacted, try to combat what you guys do? I mean, would you be willing to sit down with government officials and
absolutely
talk to them? You're never going to have that chance, are you?
No, because again, they don't want to hear what we have to say because again, it exposes. See, there's right now from where we're looking, I see 1, 2, 3 cameras. the government controls those cameras, so they're okay. They control the narrative. They can edit it. They can do whatever they like with it. But my camera, it's the truth. Just sees what's in front of it. How they act is how they act. I don't make people react any certain way. And I contrast my videos on YouTube with passes and fails. And when the people watch it, they'll see that the only thing different in my videos is how people react to the fact that I'm holding a camera and it's not stuck to the wall.
What grade would you give them here today?
Today, I'd probably give them probably a B. I only had one issue so far, and that was up, I believe, on the 4th floor, a gentleman, but I quickly dismissed him and sent him back to work. But usually, you know, it goes a whole lot different, you know.
When you were here in June?
Oh, yeah, terrible, terrible. Every place I went, I didn't even get in this building, and they were harassing me out on the sidewalk. I didn't even come in the building, and they were harassing me out on the sidewalk. So
They're getting better before they make passes.
yeah. It seems so.
Yeah, I did confirm in there, he's not a volunteer, he is a worker, the solitaire guy.
Okay, good. So now we see what our tax dollars go for. Workers playing solitaire. What floor are we on now?
We're on 3.
3, all right. I'm gonna go down to 2.
That's the commission chambers right there.
Yeah, and the commission office is on the 6th floor.
6th floor, yes.
When he was asking about speaking to government, we got to, I don't know if you told me, we got to speak to a police department.
Oh, yeah, me and this young man went to a police department the other day and talked for 30 minutes on, you guys come in? Second, no, that's fine. And we talked for half an hour on the First Amendment and trespassing charges and public property and you know.
Your probate courtroom is on this one.
Okay. We
11, request to approve resolution to adopt policy regarding audio and video recording within county-owned property. Motion by Commissioner Harvey. Second by Commissioner Singfield. Need to discuss this a bit. As you know, when we have items on the agenda, under our unfortunate current situations, we publicized the agenda and asked for comments, and we did receive some comments, which I want to put on the record at this time and will become part of the minutes. And then I want to clarify what we're doing today because there is some misunderstanding. Ms. Rose Taft sent in the following comments. I'm just going to read them. It says, commission meetings are meant to be public forums. The people are the ones that appointed you, and as you represent them, it is important that you're able to see and record those meetings. If someone's not able to attend the meeting, it is important to have that recording so that those that want to be informed can go back and watch that information. Concerning the proposed vote on Monday that will limit people from recording and videoing the public commission meeting, I urge you to remember your responsibility as public officials and the duty to the people. This is an overstep of your authority to even consider a vote on this. I'm urging you to vote no. Okay, we are not voting to limit any recording in this room. And Chris has moved to the podium, to the microphone, so, you can correct me if I'm wrong. We have no policy regarding primarily video recording in this building. This is not any attempt to limit anybody from recording or attending a commission meeting. Anyone that comes to this commission meeting, particularly media, is certainly welcome to. As a matter of fact, I think in this policy, this room is excluded from this policy, as is the 6th floor conference room, where we have work sessions. But there are places in this facility that recordings cannot just be allowed willy-nilly, if you will, just because it's a public building. The example I used on Thursday that is by far the extreme would be a public restroom. you cannot go into a public restroom in this building just because this is a public building and record. And we have no policy that says that. There are other areas. The probate judge is in fact a judge. You cannot go into his office and begin recording just because this is a public building. You have to have his permission. We have no policy that says that. So this addresses areas like that. This does not by any means prohibit any recording of one of our meetings. We're addressing that in the next item. We are very, very adamant, as a matter of fact, about allowing the public access to our meetings. That's why we have been putting these meetings on Zoom. So we did get that email in from Ms. Taft. I wanted to read that, and we will make it part of the minutes. The email will be in the minutes, and I just wanted to clarify that. So, Chris, you want to make any comments?
Yes, sir. Just to go into a little more detail about what you stated, the purpose of this policy is to define what areas of this building are on limits and off limits for recording an audio video. This particular room during a public meeting is going to have access just like it normally has. In addition to the regular laws of the Open Meetings Act that would allow those things, this policy does not address that. It is in the areas of the administration building where business is typically conducted that this would be limited to no allowing of audio or video recording unless the people that are being recorded consent to that recording. Again, it doesn't say that it is no, it says you have to have received consent for it. That would not apply during this meeting because it's a public meeting. It would be when other things are going on in this building, which business is conducted all the time. If you're going to go pay your taxes for your property, you're not going to be subject to a video requirement here. You have to consent to it. That just seems reasonable and fair, and the law certainly allows that. As you said, the law does not give unfettered right in a public building to just record audio and video. That's not the law.
Okay. Questions regarding this policy you're being asked to approve?
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you being here. So I know we talked about how this room is exempt from the rules that we're considering. And so my question is, it says in section 1B, Houston County Commission chambers and conference rooms in the county administrative buildings are hereby declared to be non-public forums unless or until a public meeting is convened in such areas pursuant to public notice. So my question is this. We come up here, spend 5 minutes yakking before and after the meeting. According to the way I would understand this, which I'm not a lawyer, that's why I'm asking you this question. The way I would understand this is that it would be impermissible for anybody to record video or audio until the chairman calls the meeting to order. Is that correct?
Without consent. If an open meeting has been called, then that would be subject to it. Outside of that, then no. If you and I are talking in here, somebody walks in, they have to get our consent in order to record that video and audio recording.
Next question, if I were coming into the building, I was on the property but not in the building, or I was leaving the building but not off the premises, and a reporter stuck a camera and a microphone in my face and wanted to get a comment on something that was going on, would that be permissible or impermissible under this?
This only addresses inside the walls.
Okay.
Outside the walls, this policy is not in effect.
So if I were to go, this meeting were adjourned, and I'm going towards the elevator, and someone stuck a microphone or a camera in my face and wanted to get a comment, that would be permissible or impermissible?
If they're inside the building, you have to consent to them recording. It's allowed if consent is given.
The last question is, if I was in the tagline and it was a confrontation, and I'm not going to assign blame or make up a scenario, let's just say that there was some sort of altercation, and a citizen got out a camera phone and recorded, that altercation, that would be permissible or impermissible.
They would have to receive consent from those people they're recording in order for that to be recorded.
Gotcha.
What could you really stop them?
This would allow, if that is being done without the consent of the individuals, then the law enforcement officer would be allowed to say, you need to stop recording. If they refuse to acknowledge and follow the law enforcement officer's request, then that person could be cited for trespassing and removed from the premises.
But what if they're shooting off the premises onto the premises?
If they're standing at the library shooting, this policy wouldn't address it.
It wouldn't even address it?
That's right.
Gotcha. So they can be standing right on the street on a curb, it wouldn't address it?
That's correct. The purpose of this policy.
But he's on the altercation.
The purpose of this policy was within this building, and primarily was thinking through your employees are here to do their job, and they shouldn't be berated and have issues related to doing their job. And a lot of people don't like being recorded, and there's a fair reason for that. So this is, and as well as the citizens that are coming here, most of them don't like their business being reported.
And this is not, we're not doing this to nitpick anything. We need for our security to have the ability to enforce things should it get to that point. Right now, they don't have that ability. This policy would give them the ability. Correct, basically. To me, that's the reason for it. It's not to, you go down there and stop Aunt Susie from taking somebody or something. We're not trying to create an issue. We're trying to give the sheriff department, law enforcement, the ability to take action when they need to.
What do you think some recording would be important though? Some instances? Maybe just depending on the situation. Yeah. I'm trying to look at it from both sides. What you saying, Commissioner?
Yeah. I want to make sure I'm correct on this, Brett, so I might do some more research, but there is a law of criminal eavesdropping in the state of Alabama, which is a Class B misdemeanor. There's also a federal law that covers recording someone, audio recording someone, the conversation without the consent of the other. You've got to have consent. One party consent states what state of Alabama is.
Yes, sir.
So, and I think what their concern is and what they're asking is that there is something that is going on, which we do have cameras on our building out here for security reasons, for the safety of the citizens of this county, and for us to be able to, for them to feel secure, and for us to be able to, if something happens, for us to be able to go back to cover. You want to have that. Now, in the duty of a commissioner or duty of a law enforcement officer, those can be recorded. If they are in their official duties and capacity, they can be recorded. Just like you're saying the commission meeting, whatever it is in session, at that point, they are allowed to record, video record, audio record what is going on.
Yes, so there's a specific, if you would, page 2, line 2, I believe there's a second sentence, begins about a third of the way down that page. This prohibition shall not apply to any law enforcement activity. So if there were any issue inside this building that would be law enforcement related, then this policy concedes to the law.
Right. And so the issue that we've been having is there are some people that are coming with video recorders, and they're trying to come into the building and record the citizens of this county. And they're trying to come in and record what they are doing, and it's making them feel uncomfortable because they're recording it. And I get, there are some situations that somebody might be involved in. I get a little situation, domestic violence situation, where they might not know where their ex is or haven't gone to. But you record them, you put it out there in the public, then you just put that person's safety at risk. It's, it's just one example. So what we're doing is putting a policy in place because we don't have a policy in place to say that we're not going to allow people to come here and just trespass and harass our citizens of our county as they come into business or our employees. of our counties that come into business.
Yes, sir.
Well, again, and that's those are very good points, Commissioner. And again, we had not to get into any detail, but we had an issue come up and asked our security to handle it, and frankly, they couldn't because we didn't have a policy in place. So we need this for that reason. You know, again, we're not trying to nitpick, we're trying to protect, and that's what this is for. And so, thank you for those very good comments. Any other questions or comments?
I want to make sure, I know
Yes, sir.
you reiterated that, but I want to make sure. This has nothing to do with this commission meeting. When this commission meeting we're in session, call to order. Anyone can come in here and record, audio record or video record this meeting.
Yes, sir. Because this policy requires that.
Correct. I'm sorry, Commissioner Shue.
I'll let Mr. Sanders defer to him since he wanted to. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Y'all need to raise your hand. I can't see you down there.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chris. Now, this, for example, there are certain areas which are intended primarily to use county employees to conduct their business. And this is a public building, people's building. We do have in place security to monitor any unusual activity or suspicious activity. That's why we have the law enforcement down with the metal detector coming in. And if we see or any employee sees anything that's unusual or concerned about that might interfere with their job, then with or without this policy, that person can be addressed. I don't believe we need this. We have law enforcement and security in this building to take care of the employees, and that's something we need, priority also. But it's a public building, and we're videoing now. We have media video. We have the media going out talking to commissioners or other people on items that come up on the agenda. So I'm just a little concerned about limiting to things that we can and can't do. We can talk about a lot of hypotheticals here, but still, overall, I'm concerned about the audio and video recordings here. It shouldn't be all that concerned as long as we're doing the right thing and making sure people are protected and allowing the public to do what we do.
Dothan, what are you concerned about?
Well, before you let me address what you said with due respect, you can address it because we have no policy in place, and the deputies and the sheriff's department have told me because we have no policy in place, they cannot address it. That is exactly what happened. We had an incident come up, and they could not address it because the commission had no policy on this building. So that's why this came up. Is I asked press who was in the building that very day to meet with them and give them a policy so that they could address a situation if it came up. I was told by the law enforcement that without a policy they cannot address it. So that's why we're doing this, so they can do their job. Now, excuse me, Commissioner. Well, Commissioner Shue, go back. Okay, Commissioner Harvey, y'all are.
I don't know. I guess it was the pros and cons on both sides. That's my question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really divided on this. I mean, on one hand, I see we have to have a policy in place. I agree. We need to have a policy because I don't think that we need to have somebody from here coming here recording Sally Clerk or Joe Clerk down in the probate office, typing away on a computer, processing tags or whatever. I think we got to have a policy in place. The thing that I'm concerned about is like, we may only need to go 50 yards, and I feel like we're going further than that, especially as it relates to elected officials. Think about the time that we're in. We're not even allowing the public to come here, and now we're saying you can't record unless it's consented to. Even in these chambers, we can all be here. We can have a forum, but you can't record unless we consent to it. I just have some concerns about that. I mean, people don't trust the elected officials anyway, and we're giving them an excuse to distrust us even more. I want to do a policy. I don't know if I can vote for this today. I would welcome this policy to be revised and limited in some way so that I can vote for it. But I really have a problem voting for this as it's named, if that makes sense.
Well, I would agree with some of that, but I would also say that I think the public trust us to keep them safe while they're here too, and to keep their privacy safe, as Commissioner Harry said. There are certainly a lot of situations, and again, this particularly goes back to one situation. I just believe we need to give, we budgeted security in the door this year. We need to give them the ability to do their job.
And just to clarify, if anyone wanted to come into your office and videotape you, the only thing this policy says is they had to ask your permission before they did that. Okay. As the law stands now, if you told them you cannot record them, they can't record you. That's simply putting in policy what is true. I want to make sure I'm clarifying that. This would be the law says you could say there is no videotaping other than public meetings of this building. The purpose of this is trying to identify areas and locations that are given limited public forums with the legal statements. There's open public forums, and the only one that those are identified in law is things like parks, streets, historical places of congregation for public discourse. I'm more than happy to address whatever you would like to see in this policy. The purpose of it is to get you what you need. And okay.
So I just say, mission meeting's over, we're adjourned. I walk out. I got my son here. Okay, he's out there. We go out here and we're in the hallway and physical altercation pops off. Me and someone else, I didn't start it, they started, but I'm in the midst of the altercation. My son has been recording the whole time, exact whole time. Would he be wrong? Would he not need to record or should he record? Is that good? Just actually, can he keep it or can he not keep it?
I don't understand I think we're.
No, Carson. No, I'm not. It was what I said.
But I think you're asking for me to give a legal opinion essentially on the.
No, I'm asking, can he record or not according to the policy that we're putting in place today? That's all I'm asking.
The policy would say you can be asked to stop the recording, and if you refuse to stop the recording, he can be escorted from the building.
Gotcha. That's what I thought.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
According to the policy, that's what can happen, but that's really not what the policy is for.
I understand.
Yes, sir.
Can we table this? Can I make a motion to table this and then we put it in the next and let's see? That's just, I think there's some confusion about, and I think we just need some more clarification.
You can make any motion you would like. You are a commissioner and able to do that, but I would like to know what we're going to clarify and how you would like to do that between now and well.
And I think it comes down to tell me if I'm wrong, Chris, it comes down to the recording and anybody being able just to come in here and record what is going on. It's for the safety of our employees in Houston County as well as the citizens of Houston County.
Yes, sir.
We have outside people that are coming in, not even from our county or our state, and they are just coming here to record to cause chaos. And they are alarming our citizens and our employees by coming in and doing that. And they're trying to cause confrontation. That's what they're trying to do. I believe it's called the First Amendment auditors, is what I understand. And they're trying to cause confrontation. And they come in and then they harass our citizens and they harass our employees
when they come in and do that. As we sit here right now, there's no policy in place to address any of those issues. No policy in place to address those issues. Okay. However, there is the law of criminal eavesdropping in the state of Alabama, as well as the wiretapping law, federal law. You cannot record without one party consenting in the state of Alabama. Without one party consenting to it as part of that conversation. Correct. Well, we're trying to put something in place as a policy goes. So the commission is in control of the buildings. The commission, commissioners, us commission, we're in control of the buildings, the section of the building and everything. So we've got security. So we can put a policy in place. You're saying it's legal. It's not unconstitutional. It's not anybody's civil rights. We can put it in place so law enforcement will be able to have something to say, hey, what's your business here? Why are you here? What are you doing for the sake of the city? Because for all we know, they could be coming in recording our building to get the layout and put an explosive device in here. They could be trying to figure out ways to come in here and cause havoc. I mean, it's just, it happens. That's what people do. And that's what they could be doing. We've got to look out for the safety of this building and the citizens of this county and the employees. So I guess what I'm getting at is I'm not sure it's clarified. I think some are worried about, well, you just can't come in here and record it. If there's a crime going on and an incident going on, it's just like with law enforcement. If you cut on your blue lights and you're out here in the act of your duty, there's nothing unconstitutional about you recording what we're doing. Correct? And is there anything that is unconstitutional or violate anybody's civil rights in what this policy says? That's okay. So I think there just is clarification of some of these other ones. Like Commissioner Harvey was saying that if he had his grandson with him or son with him, and there was an altercation that happened, well, of course, if you're harassing, shoving somebody, hitting somebody, that's a crime. That's harassing. It could be an assault. It could well be an attempt to whatever. You're recording something that law enforcement or the judicial system could use to prove your case that you have been violated in some way or your rights have been violated. So there are certain, I guess you'd say, exceptions to what we are talking about. This just gives us the ability to say, who are you, why are you here, and why are you recording, what are you doing, what is your purpose? Now, if they're here to do legitimate business in the county, pay their taxes, do their tag, whatever else it is within the building, I can understand that all that. But I think what the problem is them understanding that, hey, you can come in, and I think that's what some people want to do, is just record whenever they want to record what is going on. But yet there is some expectation of privacy. Even though this is a public building, it's just like Chairman Cole said about the restroom. There's the restroom paid by the county taxpayers of this county or by the taxpayers. You can't just go into a restroom and record what's going on. So I guess what it is they're a little confused maybe because this is, does anybody have expectation of privacy inside this building? Or is it because you are a commissioner or because do you not have that as an employee? Do you not have expectation of privacy at all? Because you're inside this county building? So I guess that's some of the clarifications that need to be made. We need to understand exactly what we're doing and make sure that we're not violating anybody's civil rights or constitutional rights. I think that's what the concern is.
Well, two comment. One, this is really no different than the courthouse. I mean, the courthouse is a public building, and I assure you can't go walking around the courthouse recording. Judge Anderson would love it if you walk in his courtroom with a camera without him giving you permission. Second thing is, I don't believe this policy violates anybody's civil rights or pretty gracefully wouldn't put it together. And so, if there are parts of this that you are uncomfortable with that we need to talk about, then let's do that. I'm just trying to understand what delaying this will do. If that makes you more comfortable just to delay it, then I don't have a problem with that, as long as we at some point end up with something that deputies can do. But if there's something in here now is the issue, is it possible we can discuss that, or is it just a fee? I'm trying to understand what the concern is, because it's vague right now.
My biggest concern is I think there needs to be a big difference for being able to record what goes on when we're in this room and being able to document what elected officials say. I mean, I don't think as elected officials, we have that expectation of privacy as a county employee that just comes to work and does their job. I just think that there needs to be a big difference. I don't know how to put that in legal terms. That's why we pay the big bucks. So if we can do that, I would vote. I would vote for that.
Does it not say that?
But the problem I have is that we can have a forum in this room, and according to this policy, we can't be recorded until we gavel in a meeting and gavel out. I just have a problem with that. And
You want us to be recorded before the meeting?
I don't think that it should be disallowed if we're all here sitting and talking before the meeting starts or after the meeting starts. I just think there needs to be a big difference towards the deliberative body of what we're saying. That's the biggest concern that I have.
Okay. All right, well, let's either vote this up, vote it down, or table it. At this point, we have a motion on the table. And unless I hear something, or did we get a motion to table? I haven't heard such a motion. I don't have that written down.
Motion to table.
All right, we have a motion to table. Second. And a second. All in favor until the next meeting? All in favor of the motion to table, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. What'd you vote, Eddie? I'm saying no. Well, yeah, he said not to table. Which way did you go? I'm saying table. So the motion passes to table 3-1. Okay. We will table that. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what to tell you to do, but other than
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again.